tell me if this isn't the place where I was at. The tank class is clearly superior as it gets more advantages and fewer disadvantages stat-wise in the game with only 3 stats. I created DMX Kun, a tank who specializes in fire jutsus. As Fireball does 1 divided by 20, I'm assuming. Burn damage.
I thought that said Fire Jesus, by the way.
D20 stands for dice 20. It's like one dice that can roll up to 20, so like between 1 and 20.
Ah, okay. I get it.
I thought that said Fire Jesus, by the way.
Okay, continue.
Alright. As Fireball does 1 dice 20 burn damage, regardless of how much damage the jutsu itself actually. Ryoma does the math and determines that if a character puts absolutely every single point they will ever get into armor and armor alone, they still would not survive a single natural 20 Fireball jutsu. Ryoma builds Senpai Sama Suke XV with functionally infinite defense.
I can't handle it.
He and Timo argue about why he can't have 2 shields to further increase his defense. We assume that wielding 2 shields is an ancient and forbidden technique. And then somebody just goes my sides. Alright, next slide. Dirk creates Ricky Bubakun. A fighter who specializes in taijutsu. Taijutsu jutsus cast from HP and not chakra. Bloody Knee deals a shitload of damage and somehow causes bleed, although that takes 15 HP to use. Ricky Bubakun only has 14 HP.
Oh no, Bubakun gonna die.
Timo, you're all sparring off in the arena. Sparring off? Sparring off. That sounds pretty suspect. We take a moment to deliberate who the party. Ricky Bubakun is our Naruto. Senpai Sama Sandun is our Sasuke. DMX Kun is our Sakura. I'm a
gay ninja wizard.
I'm a gay ninja wizard.
Hey Greg, look, it's me.
My sides.
Can I just say DMX Kun just sounds like BMX Kun, just like a fucking anime bicycle.
It does. Fuck. Okay, moving on. We report to the Kaje, who warns us about a stampede of squirrels and wolves that are going to destroy the village.
Oh no.
Okay.
Oh.
Oh my god. I've never breathed like this before, I swear. Okay, anyway.
Jesus Christ.
They're apparently being led by some sort of creature. Timo and Cage, it's a zombie or a golem or some other sort of sinister creature. Ryoma drags us along to the store. Do you have any shields here? Timo is a shopkeeper. They're not allowed. Timo crosses his arms into the shape of an X.
Oh no.
I didn't know anything about the last session, so I have no idea what the fuck is happening. Is that you or the shopkeeper? What? Are you in character telling me I can't ask for 2 shields, or are you as the game master telling me I can't have 2 shields? I don't know what you mean.
For fuck's sake, he can't be this fucking dumb.
He clearly is, because he's an incel, but anyway. This continues until Timo says that the shop does have shields, but they cost 100 gold, and we only have 100 copper apiece. Swords and daggers, on the other hand, are 25 copper. Ryoma leaves the store, eagerly searching for something to use as a shield. Are there any trash cans nearby? Sure, I take the lid. Timo once again crosses his arms in an X and says that isn't allowed. What, is it changed to the actual can or something? Yeah, that's it. I break the chain.
That's not allowed.
This continues until we pick up the trash can and proceed out of the...
The adventurous hero carries an entire trash can for defense.
Yeah. Okay. Eric, please tell me you're recording this because I want to hear this later.
I am.
Oh, thank God. Okay. We arrive at the 2 square wide pot. Timo circle. Oh God, it's this one. Timo circles a 2x2 grid area and says that's where the stampede of wolves is.
Greg.
Yeah.
Like you read this one first, right?
Yes.
It's going to be 10 times better now.
I know it is.
Yeah.
I already know it is.
Go.
Okay.
Interesting.
He says there's hundreds of animals in the stampede in a 10 by 10 feet. We assume they're all standing on each other, forming a wolf tower. I, I like the trash can. I like the trash can on fire and throw it at them. It explodes, killing them all. Lol. Suddenly, a golem comes sprinting out of the woodwork. Ryoma simply walks up to it, physically incapable of being hurt by it. Ryoma, so can enemies pass through opposed squares? What? We explain what that means, at which point Timo says they can't. The golem occupies 2 by 2 of the square of the grid on the grid, and since the path is only 2 squares wide, the golem is stalled and cannot progress because reasons. Village siege. Ryoma begins to climb the golem, which inexplicably incapacitates it. We discover over the next few turns that the golem is made of flesh, has eyes, a mouth, and can breathe. Dirk, this isn't a giant and not then this is a giant. Oh, wait, hang on. Then isn't this a giant and not a golem? It's a golem. A flesh golem. Ryoma shovels. No, wait, no. Ryoma shoves his shield into its mouth and jumps up and down on it, trying to suffocate it. Dirk, no, there's no chance. We have to use that.
Oh yeah.
Dirk's character sprints forward, leaping into the air and extending his knee forward, calling shot to the nards. Called shot to the nards, all or nothing. Ricky Boba Senpai, no! Bloody knee! Dirk rolls 18. We have no idea what bloody knee is or how it actually functions, despite constantly questioning Timo about it. We assume that the user snaps his knee in such a way that a single bone is left jutting from their knee, stabbing the target and causing damage. Dirk's character flies gracefully with the air, his leg bending and breaking with a sickening snap. Just moments before he collides with the delicate skin of the giant's coin purse. The giant quote-unquote moans as he falls to his knees. The giant falls, his face on its side, and faintly whispers, "Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for murdering me with your bloody knees."
After having me moan.
We all erupt into anger, or we all erupt into laughter. We can't fucking breathe. I wonder why. I start to cry. Holy fuck! Did we just get him off? We come to the conclusion that the giant came to death. We insist to Timo that he meant groan. He isn't sure what we mean and continues to assure that he meant no. We start to lament the loss of our brother and comrade, nameless giant, just as the Kaga approaches us from the village gates. Timo is the Kaja. So I see that you've managed to survive my ... experiment. I'm sorry, I had to. The whole table's jaw drops as we stare at Timo. What the fuck are you talking about? I was using a secret mind control device on the golem. Giant golem. It seemed that it worked out okay. Ryoma and I glance at each other, and we both catch that we have these "what the fuck is even happening" faces. Then this is all your fault. I cast fireball. You can't do that. The three of us come together and come back with a simultaneous "why not?" He is the Kache. It's not allowed. So what if he's the Kache? We can kill him. But you'll be hunted down by the other ninjas. What are they gonna do? Kill me? I roll my d20. I roll my dice 20, and the gods smile upon the die. The emperor himself blowing upon it as it spun about the tabletop. 20. This is where the second session pulls apart. We continue to assert.
Erik.
Nej, Linner.
Nej,
shush.
ingenting.
Ja,
Beklagar.
sant. Gå vekk.
Nej, Pelle.
Okay, Greg, continue from the next one.
This is where the second session starts to fall apart. We continue to assert that Kaje burns to death, and we destroy the single item shop in the village, burning it down for overpricing issues. In its place, we erect.
Love focus. Where giants can get it off without going on murderous rampages.
Thank you. We memorialize a sofa in the lobby. It's sexy me from the scrotes of the giant slash golem, and above it hangs a plaque in his honor. Ricky Bubba's body is still out on the trail. A warning to all practitioners of taijutsu. From here on out, the story gets less numerous and exciting, though events of note still occur. We aren't sure if he's actually retarded. We actually try to account for this when we play with him, because through all of this wacky shit, we are still playtesting a game that Timo's creating. We've offered to help him and have given him numerous specific suggestions, down to actually writing out some of the rules or citing other books and showing them to him. We aren't outright dicks to him or anything. He then ignores us or further breaks the game every session. For instance, our next session is a repeat of the first one, which I wasn't present for. Professor of the workshop class joins us after we tell her about the first two sessions. Oh god, oh fuck. We built the same character. Legacy War now has an introductory paragraph. It was the 1987. It was the 1987 when the mysterious guy appeared and warned of the war to end all world, was the first sentence. The mysterious guy kidnaps a random kid and disappears. All instances of the word toughness have been replaced with tightness. The description for tightness is what your character can take.
Baby, I can take so much tightness.
Matthew.
Yeah, my tightness stat is so high. I can take so much.
Oh, my sides. Fuck, Eric, my sides have left orbit and they're now orbiting around Mars.
They got jettisoned by the Earth wall.
Yeah, okay. Anyway, LOL. We go out and look for flowers for the Kage's date. Suddenly, wolves. Ryoma picks up a wolf to use as a weapon. Timo has no idea what he means, assuming he's throwing the wolf. We have to explain in intricate detail that he's swinging the wolf like a club. It does damage equal to its strength. Ryoma searches a live wolf and finds fur and teeth. The wolf died upon being searched, exploding into teeth and fur. We gather the flowers for the first time and complete the quest. Well, and then the guy's reaction: that cannot possibly have been unintentional. The raw stupidity otherwise just boggles the mind.
Okay, next one, let's go.
It is neither, my friend. Of course, I can assure you. Talk to Timo on the quad in front of the library about how his game is turning out. Timo, well, I'm working on crafting and pets right now. I think I'll be done with it soon. Hang on.
This is
Fuck, sorry. Give me a sec.
It's okay. Holy shit.
Right there. My dad came to the room, so I had to turn the TV down.
Okay.
You should probably work on the actual game first. That's what I'm doing, and that's what Ryoma did. I revamped my entire core mechanic, and he made sure his was solid before he moved on. He starts to try to give me advice and talks to me about his process. That being, make it all up as you go along. The final session of Legacy War rolls around. Professor returns to playtest along with another professor who teaches several math and game design classes. He also GMs some of our games. He glances over the rules for a moment. Timo gets up from his seat to go into the kitchen. Math professor gets up and leaves silently, returning to his office never to return. I should note that all of these games take place on campus. We start yet another session looking for flowers for the kaji. Other professor immediately rage quits upon realizing that Timo didn't change the game at all since last places despite our we fight the mysterious guy who is actually the shadowed figure from the first burn him to death in 2 turns. Look at his character sheet. He's named after Timo, but titled Timo the Killer. What?
Timo the Killer, go fucking roasted to hell.
Look back over the rules, specifically at the intro. The village hidden in the flowers is located, and I fucking quote, about 20 minutes outside of actual homes. We were playing in the antagonist of his Naruto self-insert fic all along. You will never play Legacy Wars and launch DMPCs into the stratosphere with your Earth walls, right? While rolling for tightness. The year is 2030X. The face of tabletop gaming has changed. No more Warhammer. No more Fate. No GURPS or Fudge. No easy to pick up D6 system. Wizards of the Coast have been brought out by Legacy Wars Incorporated. A mysterious guy called Timo emerged from the east and released Legacy Wars, the single most over-the-top retarded table system ever created. Weeaboos as spies and autists emerge from the woodwork like cockroaches. They breed casual tabletop gamers, and their sheer ignorance and stupidity makes them impossible to convince of their own faults. They gain momentum. Eventually, all of tabletop gaming is just Legacy Wars. They've released 3 new editions, all based on Bleach, One Piece, and Dragon Ball Z. Develop time-traveling message technology. Make this boss. Kill Timo. Kill him now before it's too late. You are the future's only hope. During this session, we were also playing as luchadores versions of our previous character. Ryoma opted to rename Senpai Sama San-kun. Los Cacha de Almuerzo de la Muerte Sama San-kun.
Greg,
Yeah.
should I try to pronounce that? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Los Caja de Almuerzo de la Muerte Sama San-kun. I think that was fairly accurate.
The lunchbox of death.
Hang on. Why did I simply name DMX Kun Senior DMX Kun?
Senor DMX.
A bigger bike for those adults.
We have also concluded that our characters are stuck in a recurring time loop, a la Groundhog Day, and must find a way to break free. Timo was going to run a Rift season for another class, or session for another class, taught by the aforementioned math professor. Where we appeared as our characters who, upon collecting 2 shields and smashing them together, created a wormhole through space and time that had us appear in his Rifts game. Sadly, he never led that game. For the curious, Ryoma was working on a pulp adventure RPG that was super easy to play. It was like a further simplified version of Savage Worlds in the post-apocalypse caused by the return of magic. One session we played had us boating through the flooded streets of the bayou that was once New York. I beat a bandit leader to death in a shirtless fist fight during a rooftop chase. My game is a super robot RPG that's sort of like Mechton and Deathwatch fucks and the baby look like some sort of wild talents. And there ends the story of Legacy War. What has come of it in recent months, I know not. All I know is that somewhere, Timo lies in wait, mercilessly clacking away on his keyboard, waiting for the time when the mysterious guy rises up again.
Oh,
This was fantastic.
oh my god.